My name is Natalie, and we're here with Unicornproperties interviewing Dounia from Dubai. She's the managing broker for EXP, and we're really excited to learn about the market here. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Natalie, and welcome to Dubai.
Thank you. So we're really excited about this, market because it's growing so fast. There's so many questions out there, and there is also so many fears that what happens once you come here. Where do you start? So I guess our first question is you've been here for so long. What is your perspective on how the market is shifting right now for Dubai?
So for me, I have been here 18 years, and I can tell you that the market is growing, is maturing. It's one of the best global markets right now in the world. And Dubai has placed itself in a position that it's now competing with the likes of New York and London and Paris and Singapore and Hong Kong. I mean, it's exceeding what those cities have achieved. So yeah, Dubai is a very interesting place, very exciting. And you will experience it yourself these few days.
Yes.
It's a very vibrant market.
Awesome. Yeah, we saw a lot of happening construction, a lot of real estate companies as well,
Yes.
positioning themselves in the market. So based on the for a buyer or investor, from their perspective, who can invest here in Dubai? What are the restrictions, the do's and don'ts?
Okay. So Dubai is basically 85% of the population in Dubai is expats. I am an expat myself. I moved here in 2005 and I live here. I have my family, kids, husband. Basically anyone can invest in Dubai, subject to, of course, national security, safety, but all nationalities are welcome. We have almost more than 95 nationalities that coexist in Dubai, if not even more. We have freehold law, so you can own property forever, 100%. And there are so many great locations. It's of course limited within the country or within the city, but most of Dubai is freehold. Some of the most exciting developments are freehold and open for everyone to own. Very easy process. The easiest I think you can come across anywhere in the world, highly regulated and highly safe for investors.
So when an investor decides to purchase in Dubai, what would be the steps or the requirements they might need besides proving the funds?
Yes. So there are two segments. You can buy a ready property, which is from either from a developer that still has, which is very, very rare to find a developer with ready stock.
Okay.
Because we sell under construction. Everything off plan is sold before, on the launch day. However, you might sometimes developers would hold back some inventory. So you buy in either ready property from the developer, or you buy in under construction property from the developer, or you're buying from an individual. So secondary market. We have primary, we have secondary. In those two cases, the processes are slightly different. The first one, the primary, you're buying from a developer. So what happens is you select the property, you like it, there are no offers here. I mean, developers sell for the price they ask for.
Okay.
You sign a reservation form, you will make a booking payment. Usually it's between 5 to 10%, plus 4% to register the property with the government to make it officially yours and legally yours. And then you carry on the payment plan with the developer until your property is ready. And that same 4% you have paid at the beginning that gave you a temporary contract with the developer and the Dubai Land Department becomes a title deed. Without paying any further money, that will convert to a title deed, which is a official ownership document that states you are the proud owner of this particular property. On the secondary market, again, same thing, you select the property, you like it, you give an offer to the owners, and if they accept it, then a 10% deposit will have to be given. We keep it in custody as brokers. Yes, we don't give it to the sellers, but it will be in the name of the seller. Once that is agreed, we have forms, very simple process, very controlled and regulated. We have forms within a system from Dubai Land Department, is the governing body for real estate with RERA. We fill in the forms, we get the passport copies and the IDs, and we do an AML check and screening. Once that is completed, we fill in the contracts online. there's a contract A for sellers, contract B for the buyers, and then we combine both and get a contract F, which is the actual sales agreement between the buyer, the seller, and the broker. In this case, you can have dual presentation. The broker can present the buyer and the seller together, or you can have two different brokers representing the two different parties. While that contract has been signed, we move ahead and go for an NOC from the developer to make sure the property is free of any liabilities. Once that is done, we obtain the NOC from the developer saying everything has been paid. Then we set a date for the transfer. Again, the broker himself, no lawyers needed, no notary public, nothing. We go to a trustee's office, which is a satellite office of a Dubai Land Department. Because the demand has increased, everything used to happen in Dubai Land Department, but because of the increase of demand, they needed to provide satellite offices where everyone could go at any time they like to do the transfer.
Will that be like a title company? Or
It's
like
a title company. It's a government, but it's also private. So the entity is private, but it's linked at the back end with the government. So the officer in the private entity will upload all the documents, all the manager's checks, everything of the property, but everything will go to Dubai Land Department for approval. So somebody is sitting in Dubai Land Department actually going through all the documents. Everything is done digitally, nothing, no papers needed. Once it's approved, then they call the parties, they sign, they exchange checks, and they receive a digital title deed on their email, on their SMS, and the deal is done, basically. In case of mortgage or property being mortgaged or the buyer being mortgaged, then the similar, very similar process, just waiting time is a little longer because the banks have to do their work.
So is there for financing then?
Yes.
If a person comes, let's say, from the US, are there entities here, bank entities or finance entities that will lend them based on their income over there?
Yes. So we have two kind of mortgages here. The home mortgage is the one, but we have residents and we have non-resident. So people who reside here and people who don't reside here is two different process, two different requirements. So once you become a resident here, the bank will lend you loan to value up to between 75 to 80%.
Okay.
After you, of course, you submit, you submit all your documents and you're pre-approved. The requirement for that is basically 6 months bank statement if you're a salaried person, employee. If not, if you are a self-employed, then it takes 2 years of audited accounts of that company of yours for the bank to approve you. Non-resident, all you need is to apply with 3 month statement from the country of origin, but you'll only get 50% LTV.
Okay.
And only both cases, non-resident and resident, you only get financed on a ready property. So if you buy something off plan, you'll have to wait until the handover to apply for your mortgage for the property. Yes. And
after they deliver
after they give you the completion certificate, yes, and then you are eligible to apply for a mortgage for that. So a lot of people make the mistake, they move in, they're in a hurry, they get the residency, and then they apply for a mortgage and they're rejected because they don't have any history in the country. Once you become a resident, you have to wait 6 months for employment, and self-employment is 2 years. So if you want to get a mortgage and you can afford 50%, then apply before you get the residency because you don't require so much for that.
I understand now. Yeah. Perfect. So that's good information between finished properties that are already built and developments pre-construction.
Pre-construction, you don't get mortgage. You only have a payment plan. So a developer will have different payment plans: 10% every 3 months, 10% every 6 months, or you pay 60% during construction, 40% on handover. Depends on every developer. Some developers, the more smaller ones, they would offer you even a post-handover payment plan.
That's great.
And there are a couple of them still in the market.
So one-on-one, buyer and directly with the
with the developer. There's no bank involved until when the property is ready and you want to finance it, then you include the bank.
Okay, awesome. So then, for example, once the property is finished, they're turning the keys to the new owner. What would be the interest rates in average in Dubai for?
So if you want to apply right now if you are a resident and you apply from 75 to 80% LTV, loan to value, you can get, depending on what you get, you want fixed rate, variable, you leave it open, the 2.5, 2.99, 3%. That's the standard, but it varies. Yes, it varies from bank to other, and then depending on the periods we are in. If it is 50% non-resident, the interest will be slightly higher, and that could be around 4.99.
Okay, but
again, don't quote me exactly on the figure. It will vary depending on the profile of the client, what they can bring in, what they cannot, and all. And the bank, of course.
But that's really good interest because
it's I know, very competitive.
It's like 1/3.
Yeah, very competitive too.
And then also the amount that they lend you is quite a bit, so it's easier to make a decision to purchase here.
Yes, yeah. If you have the down payment, you do require a 25% down payment. Then you have the fees, the commission and the land department fee. So if you have that sum, then it's easy and you qualify for a mortgage. I would say always, especially that the rents are quite high in Dubai, so better to be paying towards your mortgage than a landlord.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, perfect. So now that we have cleared the financing and who can buy, what would be like once they are closing? What's the closing period? How long does it take?
So depending, you remember I said could be cash to cash, could be mortgage to cash. So cash to cash is very easy. Cash to cash is in somebody not getting or availing a mortgage and property doesn't have any mortgage. On the secondary market. That if the money is ready and the developer is happy to give the NOC on time, which is non-objection certificate for that particular property to clear it of any liabilities, it will take as little as 1 week or 10 days. That's if the developer is able to process your NOC faster. But if not, then it might take 15 days, 20 days. If there is a mortgage involved, we put minimum 45 days, but could finish in 3-4 weeks. If mortgage is involved from both sides, like let's say the property is mortgaged and the buyer is mortgaged, so two banks, the processes are lengthy, we put 60 days. Again, it could finish much earlier. And in the case of buying primary from developers, basically it's instant. Because the minute you book your property, you sign the reservation form, you complete your payment to the developer, to an escrow account, of course, because every developer in Dubai with every project is registered with Dubai Land Department, and the payment will go to the escrow account in the name of the project, not in the name of the developer. So once that is done and you have paid 4% to register your unit with the Dubai Land Department, that's it, your deal is done. You sign the SPA, of course, the sales and purchase agreement. That is all. If that can be wrapped up in less than a month.
Okay, that's
and
great.
No lawyers required.
Okay, that's great, because I was gonna ask that what next step, legal. What would be the legal representation they might need, or is just between the
They
broker?
will not need. If they want to run their SPA, of course, by a lawyer, but there isn't much flexibility. I think it's very standard. The Dubai Land Department is pretty much protecting the investors because, like I said, the payments go to the escrow account. There is a committee that goes for inspecting the project. Once it's under construction, they will monitor the progress of the project. And that is basically done, once they approve it, then the escrow account will release the funds for the contractors and the marketing and all of that.
Okay, that's great. That gives a lot of reassurance to buyers
Absolutely,
and investors that your money is not going to...
No. If something goes wrong with the project, then of course it will go into complaining and dispute and maybe a case, but at least the money is safe in the escrow account, and it does not leave the account if there is no progress on the project whatsoever.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so it's very good for safety for buyers and investors. And then you mentioned the 4% for closing cost allocation. Will that include the sales tax of the property?
So we don't have a tax. In Dubai, you do not pay tax on your property. You don't pay tax on your capital gains of the property when you sell it. You don't pay tax when you rent your property and get an income from it. There is no such thing as property tax in Dubai. The only thing we have, it's nice to hear that, right? Refreshing. So only thing we have is 4%, which is of the value of the property that we pay to Dubai Land Department as a transfer fee.
Okay.
That's it. That is one-time fee. The buyer pays it when he buys, and next time the seller wants to sell the property, it's the new buyer who would pay that to register the unit in their name.
Okay.
But nothing else. No, you can take your profit.
So you can flip it.
Depending, of course, in the country you come from and the tax law in your country. But as far as UAE is concerned, there is nothing.
Okay, so you can buy in development process and then maybe decide you don't want to live there anymore. You can sell it.
You can sell it and take the profits home. That's it.
Well, that's great. So no property taxes?
No.
No sales taxes and no rental income tax.
No rent.
Okay, I think it's the best way to do it.
And it's a beautiful city, exactly.
Yes.
And
Wow.
high ROIs compared to the rest of the global cities I've earlier
I can
mentioned.
imagine that the short-term rentals are better. I mean, like more profitable than the
So
long-term.
they are, depending on the area you are in and the demand, of
Okay.
course, because if your occupancy is low, then your income will be low. But it has been doing very, very well since Expo 2020, when we had it in 2021 after COVID. And the income definitely increases when you do a short-term rent.
So since there is no property taxes, I think it's a great place to invest.
Absolutely.
Most nationalities can buy. What would be any risk that any buyer from outside will need to look into, just in case? That way they don't waste their money.
Of course,
investment.
there is a risk everywhere, right? But with Dubai, I think there are ways to verify everyone who comes and wants to deal with you. Like if a broker approaches you or is advertising any properties, those properties must have a permit number on them. That means they are, you have the okay of either the developer or the owner for you to advertise as a broker. The second thing, you can verify on the Dubai Rest app, which is an application from the Dubai Land Department. You can verify the number. You can ask for the broker for his registration, BRN, broker registration number. If they give it to you, you can run it and check if he's actually an active broker registered by the government. And also the office they belong to, the brokerage, also has an office registration number, which you can verify with the Dubai Land Department. When it comes to developers, of course, you have to do a little bit of due diligence, make sure you're dealing with a reputable developer. Also, you have to make sure that when you pay any proceeds towards the purchase of the property, always buy them towards an escrow account when you're buying off plan under construction.
Okay.
Some developers, they'll get a little bit more excited and they want to do a pre-launch and please book now and pay in this. No, my advice is to minimize any risk that you may have, is to actually pay into the escrow account. For secondary market, there are ways to verify the ownership documents, again through the Dubai Land Department application. It's called REST, Dubai REST. You can download it, it's open for everyone. You can verify the title deed number, you can verify the broker registration number, and you can verify the office they work with registration number as well and see if it's valid.
Okay, so there's many ways to check, not only
to
the
double
brokerage,
check. Yes, it's a very
broker,
transparent market. You can
the-
double check a lot of things. When you're buying something as well, double check the price in the market. There is open data on the Dubai Land Department website. You can see how much the area was sold. Consult multiple brokers until you feel comfortable with the right one. Otherwise it's pretty safe. You just have to be aware of ways. I mean, even if it's safe, there will always be someone trying to defraud you, and you don't want that.
So then, I guess the last question we have is price ranges. Like, what is the price per square meter that would be? I know location will vary,
Yes.
but from the most expensive
So
to the most economic.
there was an index comparing what you can buy for $1 million basically in the main cities in the world, and Dubai's was 155 square meter. $1 million can buy you 155 square meter. That's very big.
Yes.
Okay. Again, it depends, like you said, on the locations. You can find properties as low as $200,000,
Okay.
and you can find $245 million. We have from every taste. We have branded residences. We have beautiful communities, wholesome communities with everything. Like where we are right now, Dubai Marina. There is a mall. There is a huge man-made, Marina Bay connected with the beach. Sea from both sides, so the water is running. There is no smelly water or anything. There is metro, there is tram, there are bikes and there are scooters. It's and then and here we have the water and the beach, but then there are other communities with golf courses. There are other communities downtown, for example, known for their vibrant boulevard and dining and shopping. So there's something for everyone.
Yeah, anywhere from the fast-paced life to the family life.
Everything, yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for giving us so many tips on how to buy in Dubai.
Thank you, Nathalie.
I'm sure that we're excited to see all the properties that there are here, and also show you guys what's life here, and how it's like working, living, having
It's
fun,
very exciting.
traveling.
I can tell you, I'm a woman. I've been here now more than 18 years. It's the best place to be. to work, to live, to. Yes, we have a very hot summer, but you guys have a cold winter too. So
Yes.
we
It balances itself
exactly.
out. So come here in winter.
Exactly.
Go back to Chicago in summer.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dounia.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Nathalie.
it.
Thank you, my dear. Bye.
Bye bye.